Let's go do something stupid today. Good morning. Today we're going to do something a little outside the box. I'm going to take you with me because this is probably one of the dumber things I've done. I'm probably going to regret it. You'll see why when we get there and when you see what it is. But I figured I'd take you along with me. Here on the channel, we get a lot of equipment that we need and some equipment we really just don't need. This probably falls in between there, but at the end of the video, I'll explain to you why I'm doing it. But before that, I need coffee because it's like 5 a.m. and yeah. So I'm going to hit some of this Buck Bourbon, Ghost Bourbon Glazed coffee. I don't even know if they sell this. My buddy George gives me some, so coffee time.
I keyed.
We're gonna go with the big one today. All right, I'll see you on the road.
Okay, so what had happened was that I thought it would be a good idea to purchase a 2005 Ford F350 with a 6.0-liter diesel and 177,000 miles that my neighbor, Nick, told me about. This may or may not have been one of the dumbest decisions of my life.
Time for Nick to play with his heavy equipment. Why don't you just pick it up with your hands, Nick? Why don't you put a scratch on that truck, Nick?
On the road again.
Okay, first impressions. It's loud because it has no catalytic converter. The turbo is definitely not responsive because the charge air controller is not connected. But other than that, hey, why not, right? What a great purchase. Good job, Joe. Yeah, anyway, we're gonna dig into this thing. I'm gonna show you all a lot more about it.
Several very cold days later.
Well, you have to bear with me here. It's been a few days. When I picked the truck up, it was just cold and raining, and it's just not the kind of day you want to be outside doing a walk around of a truck. So I figured I'd give you guys a little bit of information about it, why I bought it, how much I paid. Well, I think I'll do how much I paid for it in another video. I want you guys to guess what you think I paid for this thing. I'll give you all the details as we're walking. It's a 2005 Ford F350 Super Duty. It's a flatbed. There's no PTO. It doesn't have a dump bed on the back, which would be really cool if it did. It has the 6.0-liter Powerstroke diesel that everybody wants. We all know that that's everyone's favorite engine. Has all of the beautiful accoutrements that come along with that engine, which is the charge air controllers are not connected to the turbo, which is why it has breathing issues. The catalytic converter at some point was stolen and cut off in the parking lot of which it sat. You know, those are kind of the negatives of it. It needs a full service. My plan is to do some videos on that. If y'all want to see that, let me know. If you don't want to see it, you let me know that too. Say, man, not interested in this old turd. So yeah, if you're not interested in it, let me know. So far from what I've figured out is the radio doesn't work. Who cares? It's 2005. It's not like it comes with Bluetooth anyway. The right headlight does not work. The hood struts don't work, but there is a nice little 1-inch pipe behind the seat that they fashioned to hold the hood up, which is nice. Appreciate that. Big ups to the guys that thought of that. It probably hasn't been washed in 143 years because it looks pretty rough. I'm gonna set my coffee here in the bed. What do y'all think? Let's do a quick walk around, let you get an idea of what it looks like, the condition it's in. You know, body panels have some stuff like this dent, which I honestly could care less. This is gonna be a farm truck. You know, it's not really gonna be a show truck. It's missing a Ford emblem. That may be why it's still running. Another dent down here, you can see that. And then down here is where you can see the catalytic converter was cut off. Very, very little rust. I mean, it's got some surface rust on it, but who cares? For almost 20 years old, that's pretty strong. Let's look at the gem part of this truck. This is what makes this custom. A classic, an instant classic. You're gonna see, this is why I should be supervised. Why should I buy stuff like this? Nice trim on the doors, missing a little spot here, that's okay, but whoa, yeah. The part that you can't see on film as you're watching this video is you can't get the aroma. And it's not bad. It's not a bad smell. It's not a moldy smell or a musty smell. It's just a, you know, kind of a brake fluid-ish smell. But what are you gonna do, right? Let's look under the hood. And I'm going to need my handy dandy hood tool. Let's see. Yeah, it's basically just 1-inch tube. You have to bear with me here. Ugh. Let's see. There we go, that works. 6.0 liter Powerstroke diesel. It does have 2 relatively new batteries, which is great. This is your charge air controller coming off the turbo, which is definitely has oil around it. It's not an oil leak. It's most likely this boot is failing, which is very, very common in these trucks. You know, it's just a matter of taking that boot off, reclamping it, spray it with some brake clean or something to clean the pipe and clean where we're fixing it to the turbo to make it not slip off again. Down here looks okay, but you know, that boot gets replaced also. It doesn't look like it's leaking at all. But as far as everything else, I mean, there's no real pressure in this line, which tells you that there shouldn't be a real head gasket issue. As I'm looking here at the coolant is clean. It doesn't have oil in it. You know, it's not blowing out of this reservoir, which that could be another sign of, you know, exhaust getting into the coolant, which is not good. My guess is from driving this thing, as I said in the video, if you watched it, that it's having a breathing issue. The turbo is not getting enough air, or it's not functioning properly. This air filter is probably incredibly old. I've already ordered a new one of those. Up here is your fuel filter. There's one here. There's also one under the cab, which needs to be replaced. The Lord knows when that was done last time. And here's your oil filter. I'll do a full oil change on it. Other than that, I mean, it's really slow to start, which I'll show you here in a second. It's about 41 degrees today. So it's a slow start, but you know, there's gonna be clouds of smoke everywhere, which is kind of a diesel thing, you know, but this one is particularly bad because it's gonna blow all over us because the catalytic converter's gone, the exhaust is not going out of the back, and I seafoamed the crap out of this thing. I put 2 cans of seafoam in the fuel. There's 3/4 of a tank of fuel in here. Had very little in there. This truck has been sitting for a very long time, so Lord knows what that fuel is like. Put some seafoam in there. Hopefully that'll clean some of the stuff out in the system, and then I put 1 can of seafoam, 16 ounces in the crankcase to hopefully dislodge some things in there also, and then when we do an oil change, and pretty soon, hopefully that'll get some other gunk and stuff out of there. Seafoam is 1 ounce per quart of oil. This truck takes 15 quarts of oil. It's a lot of oil, and I would have done the oil change by now and everything, but you know, a lot of this stuff, believe it or not, no one's carrying it. I went to the dealership to ask them if they had the charge air control boots, and if I'm saying this stuff wrong, I'm not a mechanic, so please don't give me a hard time. But yeah, when I went to Ford to see if they had the boots, they didn't have them. They had to special order them from the internet, and I was like, well, I can order them from the internet and not pay a premium, so figured I'd do that. All right, let's start the sucker up, and I want you to guess how much I paid for this thing. By the looks of this, you're probably gonna say somebody paid you to take it off their property, but remember, it is a running F350 Powerstroke that has some issues, and a lot of this hopefully is maintenance issues, and then some of it is also just cosmetic stuff. All right, let's see. I don't know if you can hear that or not too. Stop. Gosh, Fords ding at you all the time. See if you can hear this at all when I turn the key on. It's almost like a ticking, and it's a very consistent, calm ticking. It's not erratic. Those are the injectors. So the injectors sound strong. Yeah. First turn. It also needs a serpentine belt. That thing is whining at you like crazy, but look at that first turn. That belt's got some age on it. That belt's got to go. What do y'all think? I mean, it's crusty. It has a lot of, I don't know, I guess you call it work site or barn patina. I'll tell you some of the ideas I have with this thing. A, this can easily put a bunch of IBC totes on there. Let me walk away from it while it's running. This way, maybe you can hear me a little bit better. I try to get the audio and the video and stuff right, but I'm not a Scorsese kind of filmmaker here. But anyway, I think it'd be really cool to use this truck to put the IBC totes on the back of it when we're moving firewood back and forth, because usually it's just on the pallet forks and I have to move one by one, and the tractors go slow. They're not fast. But I could put probably 4 or 5 of them on here, strap them down, and then drive them somewhere, and then drive the tractor there, unload them. And also we have certain areas on the property that we have some trees that are down, so we can bring a bunch of empty ones there, fill them on the spot with a log splitter, and then drive them someplace and unload them. So it's just a lot more efficient. And if you get something like this for a decent price, it could be very helpful. I've been trying to buy a dump trailer for probably 4 years, and 4 years ago I thought they were ridiculously expensive. Now they're a joke. Anyway, I know this is kind of a vlog format, not trying to waste your day here. You're going to see a lot more of this thing in our videos, hopefully. If it dies, it becomes pond structure, I guess, but we have a name for it. But I want to know what your names are. So if you have a name idea, let's hear it. But if not, we'll share that with you too. But that's it. This is the truck. Ford F350 2005 Powerstroke diesel. If you guys are gearheads and you love diesel motors like me, you probably want to hear me rev it, which I'll do here in a second once it warms up a little bit. But we're going to do some videos if you guys are interested in repairing the exhaust system. I'm not going to put another catalytic converter on there. It's a farm truck. The world is like 6 billion years old. It's going to be okay if this doesn't have a catalytic converter before someone gives me a hard time about that. I'm not going to spend $600 on a catalytic converter to be whatever. you see where I'm going with that. So we'll just straight pipe that part. We'll leave the muffler on there. All the service items hopefully are going to clean up a lot of this stuff to where it will sit a lot. We'll put treated fuel in it, but we really have to clean it out, get the fuel filters clean, get the oil clean, you know, bring it up to par. And then once that's done, then I'll start thinking about doing some more like cosmetic things. It has to be washed. It's gross. I mean, I didn't grow up with much, and it's hard for me not to take care of things, even if they're crusty old trucks. So I'll wash it. I may paint the bed where you see some spots in here. It's in really good shape. You know, there's no holes rusted through. It looks like they had a fifth or a gooseneck there before. It just really needs to be painted. Maybe hit it with a really light sandpaper and rough it up a little bit and then paint it. Be a fun project with the kids. We're going to build some rails on here with the, put some 2x4s in here. We can stain those, make it look nice. I mean, stain's cheap. I think we have a bunch of it left over in the barn. I don't know. We just be a lot of fun. So at the risk of making this a big, long, ranting video, I just think that this thing is so cool. And I think those of you that enjoy this kind of stuff are really going to appreciate this. The ones that don't have already clicked off, but you know, super strong receiver back here, and you know, recovery hooks, and it's only 2-wheel drive. Well, 4-wheel drive, the 4 wheels in the back, because it is a dually. I don't know if I mentioned that. It's not 4-wheel drive, which is a problem for us here during this type of season, but it does have some pretty good tires on it. So let's close out this video, let y'all hear it purr. Got some dummy lights on. That's likely from the catalytic converter or the charge air controller not breathing right. The computer notices that. But when I drove it here, it was about an hour drive to bring it back here. All the temps were good. The oil temperature is good. The coolant temperature was good. All of this stuff, I mean, it was right in line. There was one point in time where the gas gauge was not working, but that stopped. TBC fault, that's trailer brake control. Ooh, yeah. Here it comes. I'm a Chevy guy. You guys know that. I have an amazing Duramax, which I'm blessed to have, but there are a few engines that sound better than an old Powerstroke with that whistle. I mean, this thing's gonna sound amazing once we're done. So, okay. Well, this is the truck, y'all. I hope you like it. I hope you think it's pretty cool. I do. Let me know what you think we paid for it. You're not gonna hurt my feelings if you say nothing. You really won't. You're not gonna hurt my feelings if you say $10,000. I mean, these things are expensive now. No def, no regen, just a bare bones, pretty much truck. It did have a catalytic converter on it, which this is, I think, the second year they had that. 03 was when they still had the 7.3 liter diesel. I don't know. We're gonna bring this thing back to life enough to be a good farm truck and have some fun with it. So don't think I haven't thought about building a hunting blind on the back of this either. That absolutely is going to happen this year. So if it survives that long, that's going to happen. But I appreciate you all watching. I appreciate you supporting the channel. You know what to do. Please give us a like if you enjoyed the video. If you want to watch more of this truck and you're not a subscriber, come along with us. Hit that subscribe button. We'll get this stuff done just as soon as stuff gets shipped to me. Look forward to having another set of wheels and tires and batteries and everything else to take care of here at the farm. But appreciate you watching. Enjoy the farmer. We out.